Yeah, hi everyone. Let me just take off this annoying hard hat. So look, I took out these heavy, I've got these heavy mirrors at work. So you see that? Yeah, I took that one up. There was another one which someone's taken, but I feel tired, so I'm just gonna try and find somewhere so I can just do another video. But this job is boring. I mean, I don't mind. I can do it. Let me just try and hide in one of these. Hopefully, let me just try and hide in here. Hopefully nobody finds me here. But yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna sit here for a bit, just do a video. Hopefully supervisor doesn't notice. Oh yeah, so I thought I'd do another video. I want to talk about the state and quality of so-called, I was about to say journalism, but can you even call it journalism? I mean, look, I'm a 50-50, but look, alright, so I'm sort of jumping from point to point. I want to talk about journalism in British boxing. Well, I mean, you can't even call it journalism. Let's just say, to me, journalism is when you write for a newspaper. And obviously you have a lot of YouTube channels these days, so we'll call it boxing interviews or boxing presentership, or so that's not actually a word, boxing presentation. See, what is a lot of these people, I'm going to try and keep this to 5 or 6 minutes because obviously I don't want the supervisor to notice. Oh, you know, I bet like someone can hear me there. So, but anyway, I just think a lot of the questions that people in British boxing are asking are very poor quality because you're not asking. I'll be specific. I'll explain what I mean. But let's just say, for example. So the big one was AJ Fury. I wanted to see that fight. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I did want to see that fight. And hopefully, I can hear someone coming. That was a fight which I really wanted to watch. Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. And obviously that fight hasn't happened. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to happen. But you have all these people in boxing that are just doing stupid, pointless interviews, and you're going off topic where you're asking them about what he said, she said, emails. I don't really watch these interviews, but because I've seen them before, I've had enough now. You know, I'm 30 years old. I've been around boxing since I was 16. So you're talking, 14 years? And obviously there've been times in my life where I stayed away from boxing. There's been times in my life where I basically, retired from boxing, So I'm not going to say, but I've been around it for 14 years. I got into boxing because I'm probably the only person in boxing out of all the YouTube channels. I know my one's a little bit small, but my YouTube channel is gonna get massive. I'm the only one who actually cares about boxing because my background was, I started boxing when I was 16. It was basically to lose weight because I was a fat guy back then. I started boxing when I was in secondary school and I never really had many fights. But the main thing was lose some weight, and I read a lot of books. For me, my background was I read about the Jack Dempseys, the Muhammad Alis, the Harry Grebs, the Jack Johnsons, other people not called Jack, the Jess Willards, other people whose names don't begin with J, Sam Langford, Joe Lewis, Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta. So for me, I had a love of boxing. I've still got a passion for boxing deep down. But for me, the problem is I really don't like the politics in boxing. And a lot of these questions is like, let me name people. The Kugan Cassius, people like him, Michelle Joy Phelps, Seconds Out, Danny Flexen, all these, Gareth A. Davies. These people are not doing their job properly. Because when you're doing these interviews, you're not asking challenging questions like Eddie Hearn. But you're talking to Eddie Hearn about his oh, hey Eddie, how's it going? Can you do some impressions for us? And you're not asking challenging questions. Like if I was going to interview Eddie Hearn, I'm at a point where I don't really want to interview him. I don't care about interviewing him. I want to interview Isaias Afwerki, the president of Eritrea, which realistically I can interview him by the end of the year. Once I interview him, that's going to give me all the fame and success that I need From there, I can get into political journalism. I can meet him. I know a lot of people in Eritrea. Because I box and because there's no boxers in Eritrea, it's going to be very easy for me to become very famous in Eritrea. You know, like Nipsey Hussle or Tiffany Haddish. That's how I'm going to meet the president of Eritrea. He's been president for about 30 years now, no elections. So getting an interview with him is something I'd find fascinating. And I won't really need to interview boxers. It's a 50-50. I'm not saying I won't interview boxers, but it's not really a priority. You know, I don't care if people want to give me access in boxing. I don't care if people want to give me tickets to fights. And if I got something to say about you, I'll say it to your face. Like people like Tony Bellew, I'm not keen on Tony Bellew. You know, I'll say it to his face. Like, you know, I'm a straightforward, honest person. You know, but the problem with boxing, so if I just keep it simple, Eddie Hearn. If I was going to interview Eddie Hearn, I'd ask him why he talks so much. Why do you announce fights when they haven't actually been agreed? And then when you're saying AJ Fury is on, but you haven't even actually met Bob Arum, you haven't met Frank, you're not. These are conversations should be behind closed doors. Eddie Hearn talks way too much. You know, that is definitely a problem in boxing. And then for me, it doesn't make any difference because I just don't pay any attention to what he says. But when you're going on camera and you're saying the fight's 90% or 95% done, but a lot of people fall for these lies. And a lot of people, they just sort of lap up whatever he serves. They just sort of believe, but I've got common sense. Like AJ Fury, I mean, I could have told you last year it's not going to happen in 2020. It's not happening this year. Do I think it's going to happen next year? I'll give it a 40% chance of happening next year. But I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen next year. You know, I give it it should happen, but I was always certain it would never happen in 2021 or 2020. But a lot of people, they just listen to what Eddie Hearn says. I don't. I think for myself. And a lot of these Coogan, Michelle, these people in boxing, they don't ask challenging questions. Just, hey Eddie, you know, how's things going? And it's amazing what you do. Well, it's not really amazing because if you're having to do stuff with YouTubers like KSI and these sort of people, but you're not really doing your job. You're not promoting the fighters. I mean, when was the last time? Where were the British boxing superstars? Where's the Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, Nassim Hamed, Marvin Hackler? Where are these people? Eddie's not really developing them, you know. I better go. Oh, please don't come in here. Like, I'm trying to do a video. Come on. Okay, whoever it was, they're gone. But see, here I am at work. I'm just trying to, to be honest, I don't even care if I lose this job. It's just agency job. I'll get another job. But I just want to sort of finish this video. This is the problem where you're doing too many interviews with the fighters, and a lot of these fighters are not really interesting people. You're supposed to be fighters. Footballers play football. Bus drivers drive buses. Tennis players play tennis. A restaurant chef cooks food. But the problem with boxers these days, like, they do more interviews than have actual fights. It's like when fighters call each other out, they do more talking than actual fighting. If I say I'm going to fight someone, I'll fight them. You know, say like O'Hara Davies, I used to spar him 10 years ago. Would I fight O'Hara Davies tomorrow? No way, I'm not going to win. So I'll give you straight, if you give me a year, I'm not saying I necessarily beat him, but give me a year, I'll be willing to. I mean, I'll spar him tomorrow. If it's a friendly spar, okay, but fighters need to be more honest. Like, don't call people out if you're not willing to fight them. Or if it's a question of wanting money, then just be honest about how much money you want. But British boxing journalism is garbage right now. And I don't know, I'm thinking I'm still thinking about what I want to do because I've got a lot of things going on in my life. But I might start interviewing fighters. I'll do more videos, but I can't really talk right now because I'm too distracted because the supervisor could come any moment. I'll try and do another video later, but British boxing journalism just garbage because you're not asking real questions. You're asking stupid questions about what's people's favourite flavour of crisps and what did they have for dinner last night and who's your favourite Teletubby And when's the last time you had a manicure? You're not asking relevant boxing questions. And this is why the YouTubers have taken over, because you're promoting people based on how many numbers they can do. And it's not realistic for fighters to do massive numbers, because there's going to be celebrities that can do bigger numbers than them. But I don't want to see celebrities box. I want to see boxers box. Now, don't get me wrong, I would fight KSI and any of these YouTubers. I would do it for money, because obviously it's going to be hard to turn that money down. But, I'm being honest, but I want to see real boxing. I want to see these Olympian boxers become pro. I want to see them be developed. I want to see people go from Southern area to British to Commonwealth to European to world titles. But, but part of it is that you need to ask challenging questions. But anyway, I'll go for now. Yeah, I'll try and do another one later after I finish work. Take care, everyone.